Two, 8, 5, 6, 5, 7. Wait, he did this 7 years ago? All right, I'm ready. I'm ready, man. I remember watching it back then. It hasn't been that long. I think I just aged by like a million years.
Hey people, Seth here. Pilgrimage.
Hello.
For some, this means visiting the Vatican or Mecca. For me, it's replaying my favorite game and subjecting my audience to a series of moldy
It's
pixels.
so good.
Might and Magic 7, for Blood and Honor. What it lacks in length and fidelity, it makes up for by the fact that it's better than any psychological Skitters box released today. There's a lot of party compositions, and technically, you could
I
finish
just love how everything looks so fucked up and grainy, man. There's something comfy about these old-ass games, man.
the game with anything, but it would be extremely painful. Coincidentally, the default is probably also the most complete experience. Behold, my party. We pick Goblin Knight for the smoker's voice.
Ooh.
You have to choose me. You have to choose me.
I could be a goblin female?
Sorcerer and a cleric.
Wait, Tyquisha Joe... I didn't even see the names. Tyquisha, Joe Rogan, and Alex Jones. Of course, Joe Rogan's the cleric.
So we can actually have fun.
He took a bunch of ivermectin and cured his COVID or something. I don't fucking know, man.
And my feat
Makes sense.
is simply a product of socioeconomic condition. Emerald Island is the tutorial zone, which you can never return to, which is a shame because it has one of my favorite tracks.
This is so intense. What the hell?
I use the GOG copy of Might and Magic 7. By pure muscle memory, I start torrenting before remembering that I own it legally and in real life. We use Greyface's patch for Might and Magic 7.
All Russians know exactly the pain of having a Windows in English and then having a Russian game installed, and you have to do a guessing game of random hieroglyphics that make no sense because the computer literally can't read Cyrillic. So you have to do a guessing game of which parts are like install, like where do you press. Yeah, it's a Russian installer and an English copy of Windows. My dad would come home from like business trips, из командировки, and then he would hand me a bunch of CDs, and there would be like educational games or like, I don't know, the old ass Duke Nukem, and you'd install it and it's all gibberish. I don't know, it's such a nostalgic thing to remember.
Patch for Might and Magic 7.
was
The stretch
great.
for
Give
widescreen
muscle memory
resolution,
build.
rearrange the UI, and give us mouse look. Convenience for me is a necessity for you. You're not
True.
going to survive the arrow keys. Lord Markham's treasure hunt is the basis of our adventure. He
amazing.
wants to pawn off the shitty town of Harmondale in the middle of contested territory between Arathia and Tularia, which both sides believe rightfully belongs to them. We'll need several
We're
items.
fighting.
A red potion.
A perfect mix.
A seashell,
perfect
which you
mix.
can find stashed to the north. It's tradition for me to do none of the fighting, as I lure dragonflies to kill half a town. This time, I keep Mr. Malwick alive. His associates will have
Dude, what is this haircut and mustache combo, man? I don't know, man. You just don't get this anymore. Authentic villains and characters.
a favor to collect on in the future. It's a lot more fun this way. As for rigging the contest, we
It's
don't really need
DSP.
the wand, but it's useful later on. A hat, which you can trade for a red potion from Brent, a mentally challenged adventurer who can't make his own. A floor tile, which
Me
you get
too.
from the Temple of the Moon, along with getting ambushed by another adventurer for your hat, who is also mentally challenged, because there's one in the drawer right behind him. A longbow, which you find on the floor of the Dragon's Cave, along with the missing contestants, and possibly a dead party member if you're not fast enough.
Let's get outta
he's
here.
dead.
And a
Let's
musical
get outta
instrument.
here.
Wait, what? 500 gold? We'd love to pay you. But I have a different idea. Originally, I was going to lure her out of town with Alex Jones screaming and take it by force. But it turns out you can pickpocket by pressing control. I killed her anyway. Locating the missing contestants and completing the treasure hunt gets us a lot of experience. But we need just a little more. We've been on this island for so long, my party is starting to go insane.
Why has he got splooge in his mouth? Did he take too much ivermectin?
We may have a problem with this one.
A worthy opponent. Whoa.
For a normal play,
What What is that? Go back! I need to see that. White woman spotted, I say audibly.
For a normal player, this is when you leave, or you can sequence break your entire experience. Buff yourself with the Day of the Gods and Fire Resistance Shrine, and go back into the cave. Then, we spend the next 20 minutes kiting a red dragon, as we chip away at its
So
health bar.
autistic,
Fun fact,
I love it.
Endgame monsters such as dragons and titans have a chance of multi-looting. You click the body, you get items, and it doesn't disappear. And if it does, you just reload. After
my
save scumming for several minutes, I have enough
You're
artifacts
such a
and
little-
equipment
dirty
to
little
completely
exploiter.
spoil my enjoyment of the game. So, we throw them into the ocean. Taikisha
Based!
becomes a victim of racial profiling and is banned from every store. We train to level 5 and set off to Harmondale.
Welcome aboard!
But first, I have obligations to a client that pays invoices 3 months late. Because I'm not a bug chaser, I'm a bag chaser, and I'm
A
addicted
bug
to the
chaser,
jingle of
excuse
coin.
me.
Warning, under 18s may currently be watching this video. To verify that you're above 18, please open your mouth in front of your webcam. Good. Now, move closer and smile for the camera, Goyim. Thanks to new online...
Thanks, Seth. I'm a goyim, apparently. Yeah. Chad, did you do it with me? Are you a goyim, too?
regulations, scenes like these are happening all over the world. You could
Oy
be
vey.
next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life. Prove to yourself that you have the strength and courage to be free. Download ExpressVPN.
Yeah!
What's a VPN?
Wah.
Well, let's check Wikipedia.
You can't do that!
Okay, let me just enter my driver's license, social security number, and Costco membership.
Oh, and also a scan of your balls.
Just need to submit these and submit my entire identity on a silver platter to every single website I log into. Because nothing says protecting the kids like forcing them to build their own perfect database to train AI deepfakes. What could possibly go wrong? So how about we just don't do that? There we go. ExpressVPN works by routing all of your online traffic
Did he just
through a
route to
secure
Sri
encrypted
Lanka?
tunnel. Any identifying information, most importantly, your location, will now come from the endpoint of this tunnel. So, if your connection doesn't allow you to see the content you want, you can use ExpressVPN to move that connection to one of 105 countries where you can. Find out how you can get
Oh my
4 months
God,
free
this guy
by
got
scanning
scammed.
the QR code on screen, clicking the link in the description box below, or by going to expressvpn.com/Seth. Despite being the newly made Lords of Harmondale, our own people treat us like dirt.
Need a new weapon? Thanks for nothing, moneybags.
Money bags!
It's worth visiting every house in town. Everyone has something to say, a quest to give, or skills to train. Additionally, you can hire NPCs. These can enhance your abilities or compensate for a lack of them.
Ah.
He's reaching! That was a close one. Generally, if they have a name, they can be interacted with. Unless they're called Peasant. This is a default name, like a fantasy version of Muhammad. Say it in public, and 20 people turn around. First order
Oh, is peasant like the most popular name in England too? Yeah, I thought so.
of business. We need to talk to our geriatric butler.
It doesn't look too bad in here.
It seems our castle is overrun with goblins, and it's time to evict them.
Kill him!
And now, we draw straws for
Dude, that what does that sound?
time to evict them.
Where does that sound come from? Where is that food sound from? Does anybody know what game that's from? Stalker? Are you sure? Your mouth. Shut up! Your balls. No! It's a stock sound effect? Warcraft? It was in Thief Stalker. I swear I've heard it before. Fatties in chat, quickly analyze. You think Might and Magic was the original? Yeah, totally, dude. It's Skyrim. It's a pretty common sound effect. You're common.
And now, we draw
Peasant.
straws for who gets to pick through the garbage.
Oh, it was Fallout! Yeah, that was it. That's where I've heard it before. You're right.
I think I'm getting sick.
Oh, dude, why does he got the pox, man?
The castle is still a dump. We're too incompetent to fix it, so we have to ask the
Okay.
dwarves for help. Along the way,
Base
we find
dwarves.
out Darren's brother Elrond has disappeared. They were planning to trade Magic the Gathering cards. But as his brother plays a blue control deck, he is a social pariah
what a
and has taken
loser.
up residence with a troglodytes in a
play all
cave to the
blues,
south.
man, you're
We
freaking
find
sick.
no trace of
All
him,
magic.
only a deck of cards and his dead body. I guess we'll never truly know. Nearby, we can find the Arbiter, who acts as diplomatic mediator between the factions. More importantly, he can replace quest items without
Ooh,
asking what I
that's
did for the
good.
last one. Before we proceed, we need promotions. Any skill in white can be trained. Any skill in yellow needs a promotion to attain, and those in red are restricted by your class. We could pursue anything, but personally, I hate walking. I want to fly and defecate openly on people's heads. To this
Best.
end, we have to go to the worst area in the game, Brakata Desert. Nothing is reachable except by teleporter. Everything is a platforming nightmare, and there's a wishing well in town that only grants a single wish. Death.
I am so dead.
For the sorcerer promotion, we need to build a golem. Unfortunately, the eBay seller has misdelivered all the parts and offers no refund.
Okay.
We have to track them all down from the bill of sale. Naturally, none of this is explained to you. Also, the chest contains a faulty head.
I really miss when games weren't metagame to shit, and then finding like guides to get you through the game was like exceptionally rare, and it was done by like one autistic guy in like a forum somewhere. I don't know, man. There's like a lot of games back then when I like, you know, played as a little kid on my dad's laptop. Like I never finished them because they were so hard, or it was like some sort of really obscure way of like figuring out a puzzle or like beating a boss, or like you just had no idea. Blame the internet. I think it's min-maxing that's just been like, it's just kind of ruined everything, to be honest. Everything's got an alpha, everything's got a beta. Like, you've just figured it out before the game's even released.
Which will cause the golem to go berserk.
It sucks.
So let's go get the real one. Next stop is Barrow Downs, another area that sucks. Ghosts cause artificial aging. Gogs explode on death. And I failed to disarm the
Gogs.
next chest.
It's killed him!
Good thing I have insurance. Next is Tatalia. I meant to have water walking to reach the silent, but that's skill
Ow.
points I don't want
Ow.
to spend.
Based. The sword.
Been defeated. Death is not your fate today.
I'm starting to think. Disarm trap expert might not be enough. Okay, I got humbled. Water walking is a necessity for Viavli shipment. I got murked by the water elemental several times and had to reload. But it's all worth it, because the last two shipments are in Deja.
Whoa.
We trail around town to avoid a restraining order, slaughter some harpies, and get our remaining parts. We assemble our golem and turn our sorcerer into
Sick.
a wizard. Now we're traversing in
Ooh,
style.
Archmage.
You don't have to do it in this order, but it makes our other promotions easier. For Knight to Cavalier, we have to clear out a haunted house in Barrow
How do you
Downs,
figure this
during
all
which
out, man?
Rogan develops a fluoride stare. Unfortunately, the only person who can cure paralysis is currently paralyzed. So I have to reload. For Fiefel
Wait,
to Rogue,
what?
to even be able to talk to our quest giver, we need to fight past British teenagers
Because they're shanking you. Get it, chat?
inside the rankest septic tank sewer gutter. And then we need to pay Lord Markham a visit and dash out with his antique vase. This is widely considered to be one of the hardest first promotions, which can also be completed in under 12 seconds. And finally, for Cleric to Priest, we need to find the navigational map to Evermorn Islands.
Oh, it's like elite classes in D&D and other games. Yeah, you get promoted, quote unquote. I didn't follow that for a second. Neat.
Sorry.
With everyone promoted, now's a good time to visit the Warlocks and learn Master Water
Joe
Magic.
Rogan's dead.
Unfortunately, they're only accessible through a set of shitty
Oh, is it
tunnels under
Diabler?
Stone City. Beholders put you to sleep and make you insane.
He renamed the character to Nicki Minaj.
And Minotaur Lords have a chance to cause instant death. We're not even going to try fighting them right now. Instead,
Okay.
we go invisible and sneak past them. Mind the hitboxes. Even a light brush against a frenulum
Minotaurs!
is game over.
Milking glory farms. This is what white women want, chat.
For us. Town Portal is a major convenience for getting around, which is why the trainer has to be located in the most inconvenient location in the game.
Paste.
As our party is geared and skilled up, we can proceed with the story.
Oh, what a waste of time.
Unfortunately, Taikisha is arrested for an unpaid parking ticket and we go to prison. A year later, we've served our sentence and can finally talk to the king. It seems his dwarves went off to romance the Medusas, who didn't take kindly to the advances of our short kings, turning them into stone. Everyone we need to rescue is on the top level, and we never actually have to interact with a single Medusa. However, sabotaging the elevator suspension is still free XP. We return our manlets to the king. He sends out his engineers and advises us to watch our backs. As the first lords of Harmondale that aren't completely incompetent, we're forced into politics. The castle may be fully repaired, but
politics is very interested in you, chat, in any video game, even back in 1999.
Now it's occupied by vultures. Araphia and Avli are...
Ellen Rockway. I thought that was like Rockefeller.
Now it's occupied by vultures. Araphia and Avli are at war, and they've sent their ambassadors to try and forge an alliance. Humans currently hold the border, which the elves claim was stolen during the Timber Wars. Neither of them recognize my legitimate claim to the land, as collector of several knickknacks on a remote island. Because of this, we're going to play both sides. Queen Catherine wants us to extract her spy before he's executed, while King Parson wants the floor plans to Fort Riverstride. Budget cuts and austerity have hit the military, as you'll be hacking through elves armed with branches and women armored from head to toe, but nothing in between.
Chad, can I just say how I'm not gonna lie, someone gooned to this back in 1999. You just know it.
As the war is ongoing, these quests are timed. In a month's time, they'll call for a ceasefire. Both will go pray at the Wailing Wall in Bracada, and everything goes back to usual. You can choose to screw over each side by asking the king for a lookalike, and the queen for a fake set of blueprints. However, this grants less experience, and prior to the patch, none at all. Bizarrely, you can also choose to screw someone over, feel bad about it, confess to their leader, and get executed. Which has no impact on your ability to make small talk with the king. And now we wait around, gawking at the caked-up elven peasants. Hate to see him go. Love to watch him leave.
Dude.
I don't want to go back to jail. So our next best option to advance the story is spend a few months training. When we get back, Judge Grey has a heart attack. As Lords of Harmondale, we reserve a right to choose his successor. This is where the game branches off, so I recommend saving beforehand. Judge Fairweather represents the Wizards of Bracada.
Dude, how much content have we done so
a peace
far?
treaty between Araphia and Avli. Judge Sleene represents the necromancers of Deja and lets our sorcerer do all the talking.
I don't want to see him kissing goblins or you catch him in bed with a goblin. Gonna have
This isn't AI, this is actually a soundbite.
babies with a goblin. He's gonna marry a goblin.
Understandably, this leads to all-out war,
goblins.
but a lot of fresh bodies for our new allies. Welcome to the Path of Dark. The pit is a fire hazard of winding corridors. Homeowners Association would have a word about it.
I don't know what it is about like really old dark fantasy games, but I'm kind of low-key bummed out. Like in Diablo 2, when you go into the crypts and there's literal torture devices kind of like this, and there's like bodies strewn on the wall. They removed that in like most of the Diablo 2 remake. Like they kept some of it, but it was not near as gruesome. When I remember when I went into the catacombs when I was a kid, I used to literally only be able to play 10 minutes at a time because I get scared. The skull aesthetic. Yeah, there's just a random skull. Why do you have a torture device and then like I don't know, what is this, a mummy?
Association would have a word about this.
That's right.
Grub good.
But hey, we have much more charming residents. Uncle Baz looking rough since he sprained that ankle. Good thing we've got the NHS. We need to see Archibald, which is more difficult than it sounds, because if I follow the guard's instructions, I'll accidentally enter a restricted area and get torn to pieces. For our initiation, we have to reach the end of a shithole. I can't decide what's worse, kiting 24 behemoths in a corridor, or getting jump scared by a trap that's 20 decibels louder than anything else in the game.
That's so
colloquially known as
devs.
the Waffle House that never sleeps. You have to complete the breeding zone in a single try.
Excuse me, the breeding?
Will reset the area. It's worth the suffering because we get access to dark
breeding pet. Huh?
Magic. Or so I
That's where
thought.
VTubers go,
Members
huh?
only.
Time for our second promotions. For Cavalier to Black Knight, we have to rob the Elven Treasury. For Priest into
African-American
Priest of
Knight.
Dark, we have to deface the altar in the Temple of the Sun. Both completely trivial. For Rogue to Assassin, we have to assassinate Lady Carmine, a diplomat who defected to the wizard's court. There's a horde of angels between her, so we have to go invisible. On the way there, I get distracted.
Welcome.
ADHD moment. Whoa.
As Taikisha goes for the throat, I realize she's a friendly NPC and accidentally talk to her instead. Oops.
Oops.
It's time to leave, but as Celeste is in the sky, all we have to do is jump.
Oh, at least she
All that's
survived.
left is the main reason for going dark, transforming our wizard into a lich. The ritual requires a soul jar as our phylactery.
I'm so glad I haven't eaten since like 7 o'clock this morning. I think I'd probably barf.
And we're all out, but there's a stolen
Phylactery,
shipment stashed inside the
man.
walls of mist. We get no experience from fighting here, so it's best to go invisible. This gives us a narrow time window between puzzle solving and staring at the backsides of genies.
Holy guacamole.
Pain is temporary. Lichdom is forever. And if you become a girl lich, you get pretty pink princess eyes instead. The forbidden pickle jar
Wow, who said they didn't care about women back then?
must never be consumed or thrown
lich
away.
eyes.
Attempt to do so, and you'll quickly find out why. Just as we finish our promotions, we get a letter from an old friend. Niles Stanley, Mr. Malwick's employer, has
it's
come
the
to
guy
collect
with
on
the
his
gold
favor.
tooth.
He wants us to steal a tapestry from Castle Gloaming. Doing this is a horrible idea, as it locks me out of story progression for at least a year of game time. But if I don't comply in a month's time, he's going to send starving adventurers and malnourished goblins to attack Harmondale. This isn't even a threat. It's an invitation to a good time. So we let the timer tick down and watch
kill
as
him.
my golem solos the entire raid.
Let's
we
go!
celebrate by giving
Get
our
him,
goblin
golem.
so many BBLs. She becomes the living ship of Theseus, with no original
Nicki Minaj, the Black Knight. Condition, zombie. I mean, that's lore accurate to Nicki Minaj.
parts.
This makes
Is she
sense.
still Nicki Minaj? Or simply an automaton animated by cellulite? It's worth viewing the other promotions. If not for
Cellulite.
the experience alone, then to see what kind of bullshit you have to survive for the other classes, which include basic cryptography, for which you
Oh my god. I mean, Seth has the autism for this. I do not. A complex pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have found the tomb. Bro, what the hell? I hate this. Convert from alphabetic to alphanumeric. Subtract cipher key value from cipher. Add 26 as output is below 1. How do you know this? How would you figure this out as, like, I don't know, a 15-year-old playing this game, man? You'd get stuck on this.
basic cryptography, for which you have to bust out the pen and paper. The hardest
fuck that.
promotion in the game,
It's
which
too
forces
stupid.
you to visit the Endgame land of the giants to steal a dragon egg, and of course, kidnapping a child
dragon.
for Bill Gates. What can I say?
And send it to Epstein's Island.
I walked, so Epstein could run. All that's left is to finish the story. After deactivating the teleporter shielding from Clanker's laboratory, retrieving a new
Clankers.
shipment of soul jars, and rejoining the 2 altar pieces from the Temple of Light and Dark, Archibald's advisors stage a coup and overthrow him. Time for some
flex
quick
on
lore.
him.
These are the adventurers from Might and Magic Free Isles of Terra, whose starship was thrown off course and crash-landed on Enroth, at which point the group had a schism. Resurrectra, Sir Canahem, and Craghack left for the court of Gavin Magnus, while Castor, Darkshade, and Sir Maximus joined the Necromancers in Deja. Both have very different plans, but the same objective.
Mm-hmm.
The Oscillation Overthruster aboard the Lincoln. But we need a control
They have
cube to get in,
spaceships and Might
which
and
only
Magic
they
Jet?
possess.
Darkshade, Sir Canicum, Castor, and Cragegg. Whose control key have you taken? I don't think I'm gonna take any of them. They look. I mean, I probably the guy with the dog.
Every
Sir
character
Canicum.
listed is someone's precious OC. So, for the upcoming
Oh, yeah.
assassination, we have to act like Robert the Wise and Tolberti were just there all along. Avoiding this boss fight is the single solitary reason for having a thief, as we may simply pinch the control cube from his pocket. But I want his blicky, which is more complicated, as he can eradicate 2 people at once with a
Oh
single
my
attack.
God!
However,
He has a
Grandmaster protection from
gun?
magic is completely busted and
The
requires
demons are aliens and the angels are robots. Oh, so that's why you said clankers? Okay.
For this
Got it, thank
encounter,
you.
like an ancestral memory from the drive-bys of my forefathers.
Here's the guy and then he's zapping them with lightning. Wait, when was this video made? 13 days ago? It should have been Hassan Loki. I mean, this was before Collargate.
Simply
I understand the
touching
choice
Glock
now.
awakens primordial knowledge of how to use it. Visions of 7-Eleven stores and Indian gas station attendants swim across my psyche. The barrel cries out to me. It says, "Point me at a pregnant mother." Afterwards, Gastor sends us to kill Xenofex and destroy the local devil cluster. Along the way, with the help of his brother, we rescue Roland Ironfist, but not before enjoying the view. As thanks for saving her husband, Queen Catherine pardons Archibald and exiles him to Clanker's laboratory. DoorDash arrives
Oh, they're actually called Clanker's Laboratory. I thought it was just him using the slur.
twice a week, and if he doesn't eat his greens, he doesn't get pudding. Finally, we have to board the Lincoln. Luckily, the environmental wetsuits come in child size for our dwarf. Unluckily, this area sucks, and a ship filled with one-shotting Terminators is even worse.
I didn't know that Might and Magic was set in sci-fi turned final fantasy, man. No! Yeah!
Castor restores the Heavenly Forge, which he uses to 3D print a billion guns and chimp out. Originally, this was the canonical ending, which would explain the appearance of a Forge faction in the upcoming expansion to Heroes Free. People didn't like it because it's sci-fi. I didn't like it because it looked shit. The canon ending is we reactivate the gate system to reach Web Station 5 and access other worlds seeded by the ancients in the Spinward Rim, many of which are isolated and unknown to the devils. So, that's Might and Magic 7. 26 years old, and still as good as the day it released. There's a myriad of guides and resources, which is partially why I never explained very much. The other reason being that I got tired, and I didn't feel like doing it. Each time I feel anxious about a video, I look at this. Each time I
Tree on Harmondale, glide from down to up. That's a season throw. Choosing a side destroys your UI. Old man voice with an overlay of rabbi with scissors. I never had the chance to meet him. My foreskin, my friend. Taken from me for I was even a month old. Yeah, I think Seth, he's a special little guy. If you ever find out that Seth is like no longer uploading, I think I'll probably try and check on him because someone probably took him out. Not saying who, but
feel
we don't
anxious
know.
about a video, I look at this
little
picture
goober.
of a divorced mother of three
Is that parasitical?
and immediately feel better because whatever I'm going through, she's got it 10 times worse.
True,
As
Pyro
always,
has it
more
bad.
content to come, so stay tuned.
Your gold is safe with us.
A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. To play you out, here is Paul Anthony Romero, the game's composer.
No. No. Is it actually? Ha ha da 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 da. That takes a lot of skill. I've tried that when I was a kid. I played piano for like 10 years. This is hard. Because your brain is like not, you know, like it's not wired that way. It takes a lot of practice. It's mostly muscle memory. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. This sounds really cute on the glockenspiel. Well, not the glockenspiel, it's just like a mini piano. Glockenspiel is like a xylophone. Dun 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 dun. Bum Dude, we're still rolling. I can appreciate good music, okay? He's a good pianist. He's freeforming really well. Dude, we're on H still, look. He's really good at freeforming, low-key. He's got really long fingers, I just realized, man. He's really good at ranging. That was really good, dude. Clappy's in the chat. Go check him out. I love Sith. I've been watching it for literally it's like 2013. Yeah, really funny guy. Really schizo. Really funny. Extremely smart. Extremely smart. Long fingers is the OG cheat. I have a pretty good finger span for playing piano, but it's not exceptional. Yeah, super smart guy.